Love sports? Love culture? Well, I've got a brand new podcast called Take Line from Crooked Media, hosted by me, Jason Concepcion, and two-time WNBA champion Renee Montgomery. From the games to the players to the issues happening both on and off the court, we'll be tackling the important political and social issues happening in sports head on. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so follow and subscribe on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. You guys remember The Cosby Show, right?
Of course.
There was this dude on there. He's an actor, Jeffrey Owens. He was the guy that played Sandra Huxtable's husband, Elvin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Well, he was just on Good Morning America to talk about being job shamed. This happens in the world of gossip. And I'll tell you, a lot of the gossip stuff out there is really, really nasty. And I think it's time for the fans of that, you know, whoever it may be who's reading these magazines, who's watching these shows, they got to make the adjustment because this did backfire. And I'm so happy it did because he was on Good Morning America talking about the fact that somebody spotted him at Trader Joe's. And they were making fun of him from working there because obviously he was an actor and they feel like, oh, my God, look at you. You're a big actor and now you're working at a supermarket.
What the hell is he supposed to do if he can't find a gig?
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, a lot of actors aren't able to find jobs because of whatever reason.
I've seen a lot of these things like, can you believe what this person looks like today? You know, a lot of these articles that are just about shaming somebody for being where they are, especially if it's not as glamorous as maybe what they did when they were younger. And, you know, he ended up having to quit this gig at Trader Joe's, which, by the way, from what I hear from people, Trader Joe's is a really great place to work. So it sucks that he had to quit that job because of all this BS. And, and that's what he said. He said, I quit it because, you know what, the picture of him working there went viral and she's like, I'm done with this.
I did. You know, when I first saw the pictures, I mean, I was really devastated. The period of devastation was so short because so shortly after that, the responses, my wife and I started to read these responses from like literally all over the world of support. And fortunately, the shame part didn't last very long. It hurt, but got to a point where, you know, I've been teaching acting, directing for 30 plus years, but, you know, got to a point where it just didn't add up enough, you know, and you got to do what you got to do. I wanted a job that I could have some flexibility, try to stay in the business. I didn't advertise that I was at Trader Joe's, only but not that I was ashamed of it, but because I didn't want the entertainment community to kind of decide, well, he's doing that, he's not in, you know, he's not pursuing acting anymore. You know what? I felt like I had to be careful about that.
Yeah, it's really tough. You know, to get benefits, if you're part of the union in acting, you've got to continue to work or you don't get your medical benefits anymore, which is the reason why Ian Zerling did the Sharknado movies.
Yeah.
He was like, whatever, I'll do any movie you want me to do. I just need to get my benefits.
I want to make sure I keep my insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, and it turns out that was supposed to just be a lark thing, but turned out to be quite a success for Ian. But he did it originally. He looked at the script and said, this is garbage, but what am I going to do? I got to get my benefits. Wow, this is...
Yeah, I'm seeing the picture. It's just like, okay, I mean, I don't understand why people are giving this dude a hard time. He's just trying to pay his bills and get by.
Yeah. I mean, you know, not everybody can keep getting work in acting. It's a tough business.
I do love that he went on Good Morning America, or wherever that show was. Yeah, Good Morning America. And he went on wearing his Trader Joe's name tag.
That's awesome.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's got a great sense of humor about all of it.
Yeah, here they're talking to him more about it.
How long did you work there? Did people recognize you when you were working there?
I worked there for 15 months before this happened, a couple of weeks before this all broke. And people recognized me every day, and they were very, very cool about it.
I got news for you. I wouldn't know that was him.
No, I wouldn't. But then again, I'm the worst at being able to pick out celebrities. I never know.
He looks familiar, but not because he's a celebrity. But I'm down in California a lot, and I go to Trader Joe's down there a lot. I don't know. I wonder which one he's at.
Well, it was a store in New Jersey, so it would have been quite a commute for you.
Okay. Well, then I thought he was still in business. So he's trying to stay in the business, but he's living in New Jersey. That's tough to stay in the business too if you're not living out there in California.
Well, I mean, you might be able to do like some like theater stuff.
Yeah,
in New York. But he's been on. They said he was on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's So Raven. Most recently was in an episode of Lucifer in 2017. So I mean, he's getting odd jobs.
He's doing stuff,
there, but obviously it's not paying his bills.
Dude, that's where I know him from. I know him from the episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If he looked like that, because he looks like Santa Claus. He doesn't look like what he used to look like, which, of course, what are we talking, 30, 35
so now
years?
We're job shaming and fat shaming him, huh, BJ?
I just said he looked like Santa Claus. I didn't see
shaming him.
I was more looking like his beard, dude. He's got that nice Santa beard working, at least in this picture.
So you're white beard shaming the guy.
Well, you got a white beard shame somebody. You got to do it.
You know what's crazy, though, is all this came out, then what's his face? Tyler Perry, the director.
Oh, yeah. Tyler Perry's the guy.
He reached out via Twitter, but he reached out to the dude and offered him a job.
Oh, I love this. I hope he takes it.
Yeah, he put up on there. He says, I'm about to shoot a drama next week. I don't know the name of it. Owned #1 drama next week. Come join us. I have so much respect for people who hustle between gigs. The measure of a true artist. But some people think he might not even take it because he says, I wouldn't mind getting auditions, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with someone giving me a job because all of this happened. I want to get a job because I'm the right person for that job.
And Owns is the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Oh, I hear she's the person.
I mean, yeah.
She's done all right.
She's an up-and-comer.
Okay, dear Jeffrey.
Take the job.
Yeah, come on, dude. You know how luck plays in everything. You are the right man for a job, and sometimes, it takes the right break. This is the break. Take the break, dude. Jeez. I mean, like I said, Ian Zerling made a ton of money off of Sharknado, and he wasn't even supposed to, really.
Before being offered a gig, it's easy to say, I wouldn't take it. But when all of a sudden that gig is offered to you, and it's Tyler Perry, who's done some pretty incredible things. I'm not a fan of most of the movies that Tyler Perry puts out, but obviously the guy has the Midas touch when it comes to success. Yeah, I think you rethink that whole statement.
Yeah, what if you become one of his staple guys?
Right.
I mean, seriously. I mean, we have a Greg Grunberg, who's an old buddy of our show. Thank goodness that, J.J. Abrams loves him because he puts Greg in everything because Greg, impressed him one time, and whether or not he deserves to be in the movies he's in or not doesn't matter. He says yes every time.
Yeah, as long as you're a decent enough actor, it's a good opportunity.
He's been in some movies where you go like he was in one of the Star Wars movies, and Greg's a bigger guy, and you figure some of the pilots probably wouldn't be as big as Greg, in real life. But you know what? He's like, I'll be in a Star Wars movie. I don't care. Thanks, JJ.
Why not?
Yeah. I come on, Jeffrey, take the job.
But I've heard I had a buddy who worked in radio and did really well in radio, and then eventually, unfortunately, the gig ran up. And
thanks, buddy.
Well, you're still here. So
oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Very good.
But you had to take a quote unquote normal job. You know what I mean? Where he had to work a 9-to-5 job in an office and a cubicle. And he said he had no issue with it. I was having lunch with him and just talking about it. He's like, honestly, though, after a while, it gets annoying when people kept coming up to me and be like, hey, aren't you blah, blah, or I heard that you're that guy. He's like, yeah, that's me. And then they would always go, well, what happened? And almost make him feel bad that he's working. He says, I have no problem working this job. I was getting sick of, because eventually he quit that job. He was just getting sick of all of his coworkers making him feel bad for working that job.
Yeah. I have, and you're absolutely right. It sucks that they've got to do that. I have a reverse situation. I get mad at our industry because if somebody's getting recognized that much, how do we not find a place for a person that, it's one thing if you worked in the business and nobody knows you. There's a lot of folks that
but maybe two people recognized who the person was, and then word spread in the office.
Yeah, I know some people that a lot of folks know, in this business, but they, like you said, they got regular jobs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just look at our business and go, we can't find a place for this person, really? I mean, he or she has such a following.
There's only so many jobs in one city if you don't want to move.
I mean, if we get rid of Danny.
Well, that's always an option.
Yeah, I mean, come on, really.
Dude, he cried before the job interview. You really want to deal with that?
Oh, man. Imagine Danny's exit interview, dude.
No.
Yeah, that would be... I don't want to be there.
It's like
that.
You don't want to see your kid die before you.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Danny lose his job before me. Because I don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah, I can't be there.
It'd be too sad.
You're right.
I got this going for me, at least.
Yeah. That's how Danny never gets fired, is that no one wants to see him just lose it and cry his eyes out. Man.
That's just not nice.
No, it's true though. I mean, look,
But it is true, yeah.
Yeah, we're speaking truth right there. All right, I got a big question for you. What happens when someone gets made fun of on social media for giving their kid an odd name? Yep, it's another edition of Facebook Drama. You're going to hear it at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Now, it's time for Facebook Drama.
And once again, BJ, this is our opportunity to point out the morons that are on Facebook. There's an actual Facebook post. The drama unfolds because of it, and of course, we're going to act it out. And this time around, Rev, you will be the original poster. You will be Tommy.
Sweet.
BJ, you are Amanda.
All right, then.
I'll play the role of Joanne. And Vicky, you will be Larry.
Larry.
All right, so once again, Tommy's the original poster. So, Rev, please take it away.
Everyone, meet our son, Rocky. I love the name Rocky. Any name that is different or unusual? Yeah. My son's name is so unheard of, hardly anyone ever says it right. So frustrating.
What's his name?
Amias. It's pronounced Amias.
Didn't you consider that? When you gave him such an unusual name, hashtag think it through.
He's my son. I don't have to consider anything.
But you were just complaining that it frustrates you because most people don't say his name right.
Then that is their problem.
But if it frustrates you, I'm getting confused here.
Me too.
Did I mention that I now also have a son and that this page is supposed to be about him? So why don't you all stop being such asshats and let me have my page back?
Sorry, Tommy.
Yeah, sorry. I still do love the name Rocky. Thanks for the love, Amanda. Good luck with Americus. Amias! Right. Good old Americas.
Amias?
Now, I don't know if that has any meaning or if it's a name from another culture. I have no idea. I've never heard it before.
How you doing?
But if it's a made-up name that has a bizarre pronunciation, and you got to know, this is going to be a problem because people don't know it. Why would you get frustrated by people not knowing something that's completely unfamiliar to them?
At some point, you just got to... I don't know. I mean, it should at least be a name. It should.
You think?
I don't know. Like, if it's just, like you said, if there's some kind of story behind it, at least maybe that's, I just, how are we supposed to know how to pronounce these damn names, man?
That's the thing. And look, if you want to do it, don't get mad is all. That's it. Like, you get to do whatever you want to do.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but don't get mad at us when we go, how come you can't pronounce Amias? Because, well, I've never seen the damn name before, and I don't know. I'm sorry.
Apparently, it's derived from Latin meaning loved, but it's also apparently a prescription drug.
Oh, that's probably where they got it. They're all hopped up on it.
Yeah, my son Viagra knows what that's all about.
Yeah. My kid Black Mamba, he's a good kid.
Yeah. Excuse me. Pardon me. Well,
and his sister Extends.
Yeah. Well, my buddy who is a radio guy, Wheeze in Rochester, he always named his kids after movie stars.
Yes.
Or famous people like Satchel Paige, Lucille Ball. Those are his kids' names. And it'd be like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do. And luckily, the names were names where you could sort of conceal them and hide them. So
Satchel?
Well, that kid, unfortunately, everyone calls him Jake. I don't think anybody calls him Satchel.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
Is his middle name Jake?
No, I don't think it is. I think his name is Satchel Paige, his last name. I don't know where Jake comes from.
He just said, screw it, I'm going by Jake.
I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing. Like, thanks, Dad. You know what? I'm not going to be Satchel Paige. I'm going to be Jake.
Somebody says, my name is Denin. I get this all the time. It's not Deneen or Dinin. Denin.
Well, again, we don't see that name a lot. I don't know if that's another culture's name, but you're just going to have to understand when you're in a place where people don't know your culture or don't know that name, you're going to have to deal with it.
My cousin's name is, I guess it's a New Mexican name. He's named Jaime.
but he hated it because the way he spells it, people would call him Jamie growing up.
Jaime.
I have a friend named Jaime. It's not a New Mexican name.
I don't know. I've never heard it before except for him.
It's in Spanish, dude. That's like James in Spanish, basically.
Danny is the worst. He's the worst Hispanic I've ever met in my life.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, Danny. Yeah, that's very common.
Name.
I'm like, what's his name going to be? Dion or
it's
something?
It's going to be Heisenberg. What's it going to be?
Right, like this crazy New Mexican name. Yeah.
Fine. Well, anyway, but people called him Jamie growing up, so he changed his name to Isaac. Nowhere in his name is Isaac, but he was just like, I want Isaac, so now he goes by Isaac.
Oh, that's bizarre. I think he lost out on that. Jaime is such a great name.
My dad's name was almost going to be Cuauhtemoc. Cuauhtemoc, and it's spelled very ridiculous. It's got a dash in it.
Gosh, it looks like Cuauhtemoc.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Does it mean something?
It's an Aztec ruler.
Yeah, it's an old name.
Oh,
There's
man.
a very famous Mexican soccer player named Cuauhtemoc Blanco. I mean, that name is kind of popular in that sense, but I'm so glad that's not my dad's name.
It could have been called Mo, for sure.
Yeah.
Momo.
They call him Cuau.
That's what a lot of Mohammeds do.
Yeah.
They just call themselves Mo when they come to this country because, again, and I think that's what your dad would have had been. He would have had been Mo because everybody knows the Three Stooges. They don't know Cuauhtemoc, but they know, hey, Mo.
And a lot of people probably couldn't say Cuau.
Dude, I'm online. I'm looking at
Cuauhtemoc.
different weird names that people have given their kids. Somebody actually named their kid Famale.
Like for female?
And then it's spelled female. Famale.
Famale?
Yes.
No, please don't do that.
How about Illy? ILY, as in I love you.
Oh.
See, that's the world we're about to walk in on,
you're
man.
absolutely right.
It's tech speak.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I named my kid Lolly because the kid made me laugh so much.
Rothel is going to be a name at some point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Seriously, no. Well, you know what? This is going to be like that movie Idiocracy. Everyone's going to have names like that in about 50 years.
Somebody's name is Adasha, right? But it's spelled A, then the hyphen sign, and then another A.
Oh, Adasha. Okay.
We got to stop.
That's, in a way, kind of cool. But
yeah,
still,
if you're on drugs.
All right, well, I like the I know. What's the teacher supposed to do in school? Like, I don't even know how to say these kids' names anymore.
So he says, my nephew's name is Peyton Diddy, and then his last name. His father was a fan of P. Diddy.
Yep.
Poor kid.
Yeah, but he can not have to say his middle name. He can just be Peyton D. whatever, and people won't know.
Oh, dude, by the time I become an adult, I'm making the full transition to being called Diddy.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Right?
Yeah. Well, my kids, because, we hid their Indian names because we didn't give them middle names. We gave them middle initials to hide their Indian names.
Which is why Joey's called
Joey D's Nuts.
Because his middle name is just D.
Yeah. Kathy wanted to be Jaya Dave, and I was like, okay, well, though Dave would have been a great middle name, but in the Eastern Indian culture, they spell that D-E-V. But I was like, we can't call him Jaya Dave. Luckily, I was able to go, hey, my dad's about to pass away. When she was pregnant, I'd like to name him after my father, and so we went out. He got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
But Sarah, and she's very proud of her name.
Sarasvati,
yes. Yeah, which is a very, very popular Eastern Indian character. Oh, I think she's a goddess of knowledge or teaching or something, which is surprising because Sarah doesn't know anything. I mean that spiritually. Oh, Sarah. She knows how to get after it.
Hello. It's the Hindu goddess of learning, wisdom, music, and aesthetics.
Yeah, we named the kid wrong. We really did.
Yeah, what about the Hindu goddess of being ratchet? Is that anywhere getting drunk and crawling into a taco truck?
Yeah, where's that goddess?
No, there is none. Unfortunately. Somebody asked if we could pronounce their name. He says, my name is, and he says, can you pronounce I'm a Brazilian guy? And it's Joao. Is that Yoa?
Vicky, you should know this, right?
The little squiggly over the A.
I know Danny doesn't know anything Hispanic, so he would know.
Brazilian would be Portuguese. I don't understand Portuguese.
Gosh, BJ, get with it.
Oh, I thought that she might
German.
get it. You might have a chance. Like sometimes Italians can pronounce Hispanic and Spanish name, and vice versa.
Sometimes, but it's not always right.
All right, so you can't do it? I'll take
Yoa.
It's Yoa.
That's what, yeah.
I found it on YouTube, so this is the pronunciation via the internet.
Okay.
Joao.
So they say hard J's in Portuguese.
I guess.
Joao.
Oh,
no, wait, we already have.
No, that's actually that's a New Mexican way of pronouncing it.
Yeah, it's Joao.
Yeah.
By the way, that is not an original name. We saw her on Jersey Shore, didn't we?
That was
JWoww.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty close.
Sorry, I get them confused.
So he says, like, there's a kid at my kid's school named...
No, it's not.
Absadi, and it's spelled ABCDE.
No, it's not.
Absadi.
That's like having password as your password.
No.
Yeah, right?
You didn't name your
Not
kid
that I've ever done
Absadi and spell it ABCD. And then again, though, you know what? That's kind of cool.
Well, no, it's not.
Absadi is a great name.
Yeah, if you name your dog or cat that, sure. But you can name a child that's going to grow up with... what's your name? My name's Absadi. How do you spell that? ABCDE.
It sounds like Absadi is a great sorcerer that, you know what, this guy...
You watch too much movies.
I do. I am the great Absadi. Welcome to my sanctum.
I feel with that name, you're just condemning someone, to, like your kid, to one day walk into an interview or submit his resume and they're just going to throw it away. They're like, this is a prank.
Right, unless his last name is FG.
Yeah, exactly. What if they get X was Z? X was Z's the boss. I'm X was Z. Welcome, Absadi. Welcome to our company.
So he says, I can't wait till somebody names their kid LMFAO. Limfao.
Yeah, Limfao.
Hanging out with Jao.
Oh, Limfao sounds like somebody that might be a martial artist. I like that. Limfao.
So he says, in the military, if we can't pronounce the name, we call them alphabet.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. That's very, very cool.
Someone said they went to school with an Absadi in the early 90s.
Wow,
that's a thing?
I don't know. People say what they say, but I need to see the person's driver's license and actually see the ABCDE in order to believe that it actually is true.
Texter says, I knew a girl named Placenta. Parents said it sounded pretty.
Oh, no.
I've heard that story, too. And I've heard it from other places. I don't know if that's true.
You don't think?
I don't think anyone's named their kid Placenta.
Not. I really hope
I
not.
really do. I mean, I think it's an old wives' tale.
Unless they're from a different country and they don't know what it means. They're like, oh, that's pretty.
Well, that's very true. I mean, I wonder how many things we have gotten from other cultures and they laugh at us when they go, you just said toilet, but okay, it sounds pretty in our language.
Yeah, there's like a morning show in like India right now going, and then in America they call people Adam.
Yeah.
And who knows? Jeff.
Yeah. I think we should call Vicky Baño.
Wow. Bathroom?
Yeah, we'll call her Bathroom.
I'm surprised you know something, but go ahead. Yay.
Yeah, see, I know Baño. Little Baño. Does sound like a nice name.
So does chlamydia, but until you know what it means.
Little chlamydia.
Chlamydia doesn't sound pretty.
Yeah.
Syphilis, on the other hand. Yeah.
Oh, syphilis sounds like a great name. I am the great syphilis. Or gonorrhea. There we go.
Gonorrhea sounds like it should be the name of
gonorrhea. Come over here with the pasta.
And bring your little sister genital warts.
Gonorrhea sounds like diarrhea medication.
Genital warts does not sound very exotic, though.
It kind of flows, though.
I prefer herpes, guys, all right?
That's herpes. My name is herpes. Yeah, I don't know what to say. All right. Anyway, those New Mexican names are the ones that get you, Steve.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a New Mexican thing, but I knew someone named Jaime.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a New England thing, Steve. It's a New England thing, but I met a guy named Robert. I think it's a New England thing, this Jaime. Robert. Yeah. Nice going, Denny.
You're welcome.
There you go. Your mother's proud. You're really carrying on the tradition.
I don't know about that, but...
Yeah. You're carrying on the heritage, the tradition. Good job, buddy. Got a new survey. Ask people to name the most annoying little things that happen in their day-to-day lives. You know, like claiming that a name is from New Mexico. Because that's what they do in New Mexico. They make up their own names. I got the top 10 things that annoy you in your day-to-day life. You guys have the top ones? What annoys you in your day-to-day life?
Day-to-day life.
I've already told you, like, mine is just getting video after video that I've seen.
Somebody not holding the door open for you.
Ooh.
Not holding the door.
Yeah.
I'm looking down the list.
I hate when you can tell that person just made a concerted effort not to keep that. They knew you were right behind them, and they just let it slam in front of them.
They slide in before so they don't even have to touch it.
Oh, I hate those even more. I want to kick out their knees.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Do it.
I won't.
I don't understand why
bad
people...
parallel parkers.
I mean, I do have that awkward moment where it's like, should I keep it open? How far away are they? And I have that, there's that awkward space where you can see them, but you're waiting, and then they rush because they feel bad that you're waiting. No. I never know the proper distance. I'm trying to really gauge the proper distance of how I should keep the door open.
Arm's length.
Arm's length is it?
I think that's fair. Anything more than that, I understand. If I'm like where Danny is from us, what is that? Would you say like 8 feet from me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't expect him to
hold wow. I always hold the door if he's that close.
No, I would too, but I'm not going to be mad at someone if they do that. But you and I are what, 2 feet apart from each other?
Oh, I have to hold the door.
I know people leaving to work sometimes, and you no. What? Or then, like Rev said, the jackasses that just try and skirt in there and don't even touch the door.
Savages.
You germaphobe F.
Yeah,
hold that door.
I know. Hold the door and get the germ. Don't let it. Seriously,
take that germ and like it.
Like the germ.
I love when Steve gets really passionate about these things.
It is funny what Steve gets passionate about, because sometimes I think, there are things that Steve doesn't care about. I go, how do you not care about this? And then this
Right.
gets him going.
Yeah, I don't care if you're burning your Nikes right now, but you better hold that door for me.
All right, Vicky, anything that's your pet peeve?
When I go put clothes in the dryer at night, hoping they'll be nice and fresh in the morning, and they're still freaking wet.
Oh.
So worry, especially when you have an idea of what you wanted to wear, and it's all wet, and then sometimes if it stays in there too long, it gets a little busty.
Well, you guys, you should feel good that you're it's not in the top 10. So it bothers other people, not bothering you.
When you thought you were microdosing on acid, and you realized you took way too much.
Yeah, that's got to be number 11. I think that's what's there.
That bothers me on a day-to-day life.
All right, Rev, besides gas, what about you?
No, I love gas. No, it's the having to repeat myself and say something that, well, if anybody, I explained, shut up.
When I have the guy that will email me about things I put in an email.
Well, I doesn't mean that I don't feel bad about doing it, but I also hate it, so I understand how much you hate it.
We've hit number 1, ladies and gentlemen. People not listening to you, basically.
Yeah,
that's the number 1 thing on the list.
Well, I didn't say that I was not the best.
How about you, Danny?
Nothing really bothers me.
Okay, that bothers me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number 1 on my list.
People that are named Jaime outside of New Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. That
That's
really
true.
bothers me.
Yeah.
Number 2, see, I bet when I say these, all of a sudden you're all going to go, oh, yeah, you know what? That does bother me.
Okay, what's number 2?
People cutting in line.
Oh, yeah.
Named Steve.
No
when it's a pop-up store for a gigantic band named
It
Pearl
wasn't
Jam.
a pop-up store. It was in the actual arena or stadium.
Oh, pardon me.
And I was coming from the wrong side, didn't notice there was a line, and accidentally ended up...
Thousands of people cut.
Ended up skirting a 2-hour wait to get a shirt.
Yeah.
It took me 5 minutes.
How about number 3 on the list? Someone not saying...
Still feel bad about it.
Yeah. Someone not saying please or thank you. Does that bother you?
Yes.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really bother me a whole lot. I say it, but I don't. People just seem to not say much.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, sometimes people just completely lost all manners.
It also depends on the tone. If they're like, "Oh, can you do this for me?" But if they're like, "Hey, can you get this done?" and they don't say please or thank you, then it's just it feels even ruder.
Please doesn't bother me nearly as much as if you do something for someone they don't even say thanks. It's like, I just did you a solid. The least you could say is thank you.
Yeah. I sometimes say over thank you, or they say thank you moments later or right back because I forget if I did, and I don't want to be that guy that didn't say it. How about this? People who think the rules don't apply to them and cut a line that's at a major concert and skip 2 hours.
I saw no rules above the line.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes not all athletes, but you got some of those athletes that think that way and just live that way. Yeah. That way when their world comes crashing down on them, I don't mind. How about spilling on your clothes? I hate that. That's me, number 5, and I do it all the time.
Yep.
So it's just people with scratchy voices pretending to be weak or feeble bothers me. You know what I also don't like? And it happens a lot at coffee places when they do the little kid voice. And there's one at the Starbucks I go to all the time, and this woman speaks to, "Hi, Howie, would you like a topper?" And then you hear her talking to her coworkers like, "Yeah," and then this one person did that. I'm like, talk to me like you talk to them. Why am I a 4-year-old?
Yeah. Is that rhetorical?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the answer.
All right. How about people who eat loudly and are too messy? That's me, my wife.
Yeah, I'm a quiet eater, fortunately, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, it's bad.
Sure.
And she gives me loud food. Like, she's like, "Hey, listen, you're going to have to go to the other side of the couch and eat while we watch this show." I go, "Why?" She goes, "Because you're too loud." I go, "It's a salad and everything's crunchy in it. Don't give me soup if you don't want me." What am I supposed to do? I mean, with all the vegetables, the beans, and the carrots, how are you not going to chomp that?
Eat with your mouth closed.
I do, but the echo effect. I mean, that food's nuts.
Echo effect.
It penetrates by very thin membranes.
All right.
Yesterday, Steve, he got this one wrong.
The colossal squid has the world's largest of what organ?
Heart.
No.
Liver.
No.
Tongue.
No.
Oh.
What sport
Dong.
is the...
That's what you're supposed to say. No, the answer was I, Steve. You want a shot at beating Steve? Okay, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Love sports? Love culture? Well, I've got a brand new podcast called Take Line from Crooked Media, hosted by me, Jason Concepcion, and two-time WNBA champion Renee Montgomery. From the games to the players to the issues happening both on and off the court, we'll be tackling the important political and social issues happening in sports head on. New episodes drop every Tuesday, so follow and subscribe on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.